boy West Coast, and we live in the building, man. Say, man. Hey, man, we are
Yeah.
here. We are live, man. You guys already know what it is, man. It is February 21st, so legally, contractually, we can actually be a couple minutes late. Why? Because the NFL season is off. And what are you in a rush to do? Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. It's
Yeah.
Tuesday night, bruh. You here with the best, man. You got your boy West Coast, man. And then you got the best over there on YouTube, Mr. Law Nation himself. What's up with you, man?
Man, nothing. Just chilling, man. Ready for the football season to kick off once again.
Absolutely, man. I would call you James Harden, man, but I think you are a more, James Harden. He a role player. You more of a starter now. So if I see James Harden, I'm gonna tell him, hey, man,
Yeah.
here's this dude that do cowboy content that you kind of look like.
Right.
Hey,
I went to Houston. I went to Houston this past weekend, and I was downtown, and people were saying, "Hey, man, Law Nation." So it's refreshing to know that I can go to Houston, Texas, and people still yell out "Law Nation" versus James Harden. And by the way, I'm 11 years older than James Harden, so he do look like me a little bit.
Facts. Facts. Yeah, I know. Me and Drake share a same birthday. So people be like, oh my God, what's because you have the same birthday as Drake? I'm like, bro, I'm 40. You know what I'm saying? He is my birthday.
Right. He's in yours,
Yeah, he got my birthday. I ain't got his
Yes,
birthday.
indeed,
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
Yes,
But
indeed.
yo, man, you guys already know whenever West Coast goes live or whenever any content creator goes live, you guys know the rules, man. You guys, we know we preach over here. There are 3 things you guys must do. And guess what? God is so good. He named them all with a star. Look at God. You know what I'm
Look
saying?
at him,
Look at him. You know what I'm saying? He made them all with a star. So the first thing you got to do is, and honestly, it's only going to cost you about 500 calories, man. So the first thing I need you guys to do is I need you to hit that share button. So I need everybody right now to hit that share button, no matter where you are. If you're on YouTube, you got to hit that share button at the bottom down there. Share this content to someone's email, share it to someone's Facebook, share it to someone's Instagram account, share it to anybody's inbox that you have access to. If you're on Facebook, I need you to share it to every group that you imaginable. I need you to share it to every inbox imaginable. Everybody to hit that share button, and it don't cost you nothing but some calories. Okay. Now, if you're watching on Facebook, there's these things called stars. What are stars? Stars are the same thing like YouTube, like super chats. All they are is a monetary way for you, the content receiver, to show the content creator, who is that? What Law Nation, your boy West Coast, that you rock with us, man, and that you want the content to grow. Listen to me, man. There's gonna be times that you guys are gonna be mad at these Cowboys. You're gonna be mad at Jerry. You're gonna be mad at the nation. But remember, the content creators, we are here doing our job, and we just as pissed off as you. You feel me? But like my daddy said, it's better to be pissed off than pissed on. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We definitely will not piss down your back and say that it's raining. We're going to give you guys the real truth. Yes, we're not going to draft CJ Stroud with the 26th pick because we know better, right? He's not going to be
That was a
there.
ridiculous. That was a ridiculous alley-oop, bro. That was an accidental alley-oop, bro. That was an accidental one right there. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
You already know how it goes, man. We freestyling today. So whatever on your heart, soul, and sinew, let's get with it, man. So it's the off season. This is the season of lies, man. So talk to me. What's the best lie you heard so far?
Oh man, listen to me. I got a couple lies, but before I get in them lies, let me do real quick. Let me slide through here. Real quick. And let me say what's up to a couple people that pay bills around here. You feel me?
Do that.
Let me see real quick. My boy Dan, appreciate you, Dan, tapping in over there. My boy El Frucho, appreciate you for tapping in over there. YouTube, I see a bunch of people from YouTube that's pushing in. Cotton, what's up with your Cotton? Brian, appreciate you. Mike Hoodlum, I appreciate you for tapping in. Tony Hogan, I appreciate you guys. Listen to me, man. You listen to me. I know a lot of people get upset with West Coast because I talk about stars and super chats, but I'm gonna also let you guys know that this stuff is not free. You know what I'm saying? And every person that you see on here, no matter if it's Boss Cowboy, Law Nation, even it's down to the smallest person that is only have one person that's watching, guess what? It costs them something to bring that content. And just like you support Denzel Washington, Brad Pitt, all your favorite rappers, singers, and comedians, guess what? Put your podcasters on there. We don't get residuals. That's the sad thing about that. Think about that, Law. We don't you do a fire content telling some Cowboys about something that changes the world, and you don't get no residuals off of it. None.
Yeah, well, it is what it is at this point. It's a grind for your mind, and you're right, man. So the support of the nation is from you all, and I really thank each and every last one of you all for that support by hitting that like, share, and supporting via stars and beyond super chats. I really appreciate it.
Yep. And now you said you want to talk about some lies. We got a couple lies, but you know what I'm saying? This is like it's a lie, but it's not like a whole lie because it ain't like happened yet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I will say this: there are some folks out there that got some bills to pay, and listen to me, and this is what I learned about in this content creation world. There's two type of content creators, right? There are people who kind of report on the news. And then they give their opinion of what they're reporting on, right?
Right.
And then there's people, kind of like myself in Law Nation, where we don't really necessarily report on what the Cowboys are doing. We kind of just let life happen, and then we give you our opinions of that. Now, the reason why I like the latter is because since I'm not waiting for like exclusive news, because technically I don't think there's going to be too much exclusive news in February because Jerry's on a yacht somewhere in the middle of the world, right? So because of that, Law, I'm gonna tell you, it's a lot of money to be made in the exclusive world, though. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of money to be made over there. Them boys is making good money over there breaking newses. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying the only thing that sucks is like from February to like July when there's no exclusive. You're kind of left to kind of like not necessarily make up some exclusive, but you know what they do with fiction movies when they don't know what really happened, they just kind of put a little salt, put a little extra, you know what I'm saying? They put a little extra in there. So you do have guys out there right now who are, throwing content out there like the Dallas Cowboys being intrigued with CJ Stroud. Now, intrigued is such a big word. If you didn't go to one of these good high schools out here, listen to me. If you didn't go to one of these big high schools, if your high school was more about football, you might be thinking, now what the hell intrigued mean?
No, they should know it. But it is what it is, man. A lot of people embellish, and that's the better way to say it. They love to embellish what's going on. The reality of it is that you leave no stone unturned. Player evaluation is 365, and you're supposed to comb through everybody with a fine-tooth comb. But there are things that people will like to look at to sell it, right? Yep. So, and that's just the reality of what we are in between this time frame until after the draft. And then after the draft, there will be more and more details about, hey, the Cowboys was this close to drafting this guy, but what happened is that he didn't brush his tape or his braids was too long. That type of conversation always happened around the draft time.
Yeah, and the cool thing about the game is this is the number one thing that Cowboys, and shout out to my boy Jason Jesus with the $10 super chat. The number one thing is like this: the Cowboys can sell whatever they want to sell, but it's up to us if we're gonna buy it or not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I don't understand, Law Nation. Why did I get 73 inboxes about the Dallas Cowboys possibly going to get CJ Stroud? And I'm thinking in my head, like 73 people. What are the odds that nobody actually sat down and said, is it even possible? Law, for the 73 people that inboxed me about CJ Stroud, I'm going to ask you, is it even possible?
I mean, it is possible, but it's not likely, right? It's not likely. So there have been situations whereas players do fall from grace, especially heading into the draft or what have you. Maybe they can find a gun under the seat. Maybe they can find tainted blood. Maybe that's something that can happen. Slapping of the girlfriend or something crazy, looting the bank or DUI. Those are things that can happen. But 9 times out of 10, CJ and Bryce Young and those boys are real clean cut guys, and that is not going to happen.
And think about this: any reason that makes them fall would probably be a reason that would make you not want to draft them at all. Because I mean, there are teams that are going to need quarterbacks that are going to miss on them now. But I want to just talk about the word intrigue. Like when someone says they're intrigued with someone, like if it's technically the Cowboys' job to be intrigued. Why? Because this is the draft. Like, you should be intrigued with every eligible draft person. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's like I didn't see a lot of like if they would have just left it there. But it's like
Mhm.
we got to also understand as content creators that there are subjects that are just so touchy that when you put something on it, it's just like dumping oil on fire, man. Like it's just gonna spark something simply because any name where you put Dak Prescott's name in it with another quarterback is gonna start drama. Why? Because of how the last game ended, and
Right.
that's just real.
Right. You're going to be known by your last tape. And Dak Prescott all offseason will be known for the quarterback that threw those 2 interceptions. And like I said before, 12-5 is the floor. Like
Facts.
next season, 12-5 is the floor. If the Cowboys lose more than 5 games next season, it's going to be considered a horrible season. And if the Cowboys can't win you one playoff game, it's considered horrible because they did that last season. I would tell you this, it's still Super Bowl or bust, regardless of how you look at it and contextualize it. Speaking of this, when you start talking about lies and intriguing, right? The
Mhm.
intriguing news factor was, and you talk to the source because not a lot of people get a chance to talk to the source. And what I'm telling you guys is this Ezekiel Elliott situation. It was intriguing for the 4-letter, the 3-letter network to come out and said, hey, Ezekiel Elliott will take a major pay cut, a massive pay cut. Remember, they got in front of that before it actually came to news. Can you explain? And since we're using big words, can you expound upon that?
Okay, I'm gonna do that real quick. I'm gonna show some love to the super chat you got on your page. My boy Fresh King. He says y'all have done a lot of analysis so far. What free agent impending trade are you sold on? Mine's D Hops or Ramsey. I'm gonna just give you 2 names real quick. Well, I'll just talk. I'm very quickly, and then I'm gonna bounce back to what Law said. D Hop, I'm down to trade for him, but I'm not giving more than what Arizona gave to get him originally. So if you know what I'm saying, it's because people like a first round pick, like they didn't even give a first round pick to give him. Now,
Right.
Jalen Ramsey, I'm definitely down with giving him pick 27 or whatever pick that is for him. I would definitely do that for him. Why? Because I think there's a high chance the Cowboys might actually pick a corner in the first round. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to pick a corner in the first round or in the second round, as deep as we are, just go get Jalen Ramsey and call it a day. Like, we don't have time to be trying to train somebody.
All right. So this is my thoughts on this. Great points.
Shoot.
2 people that I would like out of the free agency. Number 1, defensive tackle, Daron Payne. He's my first
Oh
go-to
my
guy.
God. Yes.
Number 2 would be in the not free agency, but hey, willing to trade is Marshawn Lattimore. The Saints are $60 million over the cap. They got to get from under that. And why not take one of their bigger assets that's taking up a third of that? And that would be Marshawn Lattimore. The other one would be, I would look at Jalen Ramsey. I will wait though, because the Rams are in this cap crush themselves, and they're going to have to either make some hard cuts or what have you. They're about $20 to $24 million over the cap, and it could be a cap casualty for them with Jalen Ramsey. So I would sit back and wait. And if they do decide to release him, I will be the first one on that train for Jalen Ramsey to come a part of the Dallas Cowboys. And here's why. If it's any DB that's closer to what Sherman, what's his name, Richard Sherman, what he was able to do with the LOB under the Dan Quinn system and philosophy, it would be Jalen Ramsey. He would be the actual guy that will fit well within the system. I can keep Bland inside as the slot. I can really have Diggs on the other side, and we will have a phenomenal unit inside with Daron Payne. Oh my goodness, with these DBs on the outside, it would look nasty for us, man.
Yeah, I think you need to say on my mama at the end of that. Go ahead.
Oh my mama, they would look nasty.
Thank you, bro.
On my hood,
listen
I
to me.
look fly. I look good,
You know what I'm saying? Listen to me. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Listen to me. It's a lot of people in the Cowboy Nation that don't like West Coast to this day. But on my mama, if we get Daron Payne, you gonna hate me.
Oh, you gonna hate me.
You gonna hate me. You gonna hate me, bro. You gonna hate me. Because I'm listening, Law Nation. We get Daron Payne, I'm gonna be a total asshole.
Yeah.
Because, bro,
You ain't lying.
Listen,
Come on.
Listen to me right now, bro. Giving Daron Payne to Dan Quinn who is a D-line guru.
Woo.
Some
Yeah.
hair, bro.
Baby, baby. That would be
unfair.
nice, man.
And
Come on, y'all.
and I'm gonna tell you something too. I'm gonna tell you this something too. Y'all know I talk real fly around here, so don't get mad when I say this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I talk real fly. Listen to me. You get Deron Payne, I'm bringing LVB back, and the white boy about to be an all-pro behind Deron Payne. I bet you.
Oh yeah. He gonna shoot. Oh, and for
LVE
a cup of
behind
coffee,
Deron Payne.
and for a cup of coffee,
For
I will keep
nothing.
Jonathan Hankins too.
Yep.
Oh, Jonathan Hankins would be a rotational piece. I'll have inside Deron Payne with Osa. Ooh.
Oh my God. Think about this, bro. Think about this. When he's tired, you got Hankins. Like, you know what I'm saying? And think about, man, like, you know, listen to me. That's the type of stuff that the Rams do. Like, see, the Rams don't believe in letting their generational players play by themselves. That's why, like, think about Aaron Donald. Think about all the players that Aaron Donald has also played with. He didn't play with Von Miller. He didn't play with Jalen Ramsey. He didn't play with Ndamukong Suh. He didn't play with God dang it, what's the other? The Bookers. Like
Brockers and Floyd, Leonard Floyd.
And think about this. He played with the boy we wanted, the linebacker. Goddamn the line. What's the boy name?
Bobby Wags.
Bobby. Oh my God, we should have.
Yeah.
Bobby Wagner. They believe in not letting their great players play alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bruh, imagine, because, man, that would be like some Ray Lewis and some Tony Saragusa types. You know what I'm saying? Or some, you know what I'm saying? Like you matching these two great pairs, bruh. That would like LVE would play like a god, and then Micah Parsons would never be injured a day in his life. He would probably be the highest defensive player in the NFL ever in life, and he would probably get 50 sacks. You want to know why? Because you can't run, bruh. If you can't run, what do teams do? They throw the ball.
They throw it.
Want you to throw the ball.
and here's how the back end looks good. When you can create pressure, your DBs gain a level. I've seen a few comments in the chat where people said, hey, Ramsey slowed down or not. Yeah. And that because they didn't create pressure last season, and they didn't have the levels of safeties that we had over here, like a J-Ron Curse or a Donovan Wilson, who we going to have to talk about in a few, as well as Malik Hooker. So when you start adding pieces around said player, their elevation of game becomes even better. So I get what people say with Jalen Ramsey. That's why I said, man, if we could figure out a way, man, to get Marshawn Lattimore, oh my goodness, man, that would be crazy, bro.
And I mean, hey, and shout out to my boy Mucho Boomin for the $20 super chat. Hey, I'm gonna tell you this too. Like, listen to me, Lord. What we really got to think about is this: Trevon Diggs is so good that nobody wants to throw at him, and everybody's like, oh, "That's dope, bro. That's dope." But then you know what happens when you're the other? It's like, listen to me. I want to go interview the guys who had to play the opposite side of Dion and ask them what their life was like, because I feel like if you played the opposite side of Dion, you got a lot of balls thrown your way.
You did.
You know what I mean? Like, you had a lot of footballs thrown at you. You want to know why? Because nobody wants to throw the ball at Dion. Well, guess what? Nobody wants to throw the ball at Trevon Diggs. So guess what that meant? That means Anthony Brown, while he was playing, was the second most targeted corner in football. So you know what that means, Law? You know what that really means? That means my second corner has to be almost as good or just as good as my first corner. Yes, and that's a good problem to have.
Right.
It means your number one corner is good.
Yes, indeed. And then you got two-dimensional. You know, Jalen Ramsey is a press and a zone cover corner, whereas Anthony Brown, he's primarily only a press cover corner. I mean, only a zone cover corner. So in press, you would see him get washed, or you see him lose his feeding and things like that. And then when he tried to get into trail technique, he just didn't have that recovery speed, although he was a 4.3 guy, to stay underneath. And the length, you know, that plays a major role. So in this 3-4, you got to have a little length. That's why Dan Quinn, he likes the 6'1" and above type of DBs on the outside. So that's why it's a no-brainer, right? You know, but I get it. We need money in order for all of this to happen. So in your opinion, will Ezekiel Elliott take that pay cut?
This is my thoughts on a pay cut. First off, before I take a pay cut, I want to know why. God damn it. Like, cause we got money right now. Y'all acting like we pay cut because do we gotta sell the jerseys and the helmets to make rent? Like, is that what you're saying, Law?
Well, we $7 million over the cap right now. So
$7 million over the cap, but you have a listen, this is the funny thing the Cowboys be trying to tell us. Like, they created Dak Prescott's contract for it to be redone. Like, that's the whole reason they created the contract the way it is. So you're naturally gonna get money that's freed up. Naturally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And also, we got to remember there's also an amount of money that the league puts aside to the side for our rookies. So it's like, you are over the cap, but you're not technically like over the cap. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, you know what I mean? And it's like, to get fully, if you want to use only Zeke's money to get you back positive, then you got to wait to June 1st. Because right now you're only gonna save $5 million of that, so you're still gonna be $2 million over the cap. So it's like you're still basically, you go from negative $70 in your account to negative $20. At the end of the day, you still can't buy nothing.
You can't buy nothing, man.
You can't buy anything. You know what I'm saying?
So I was with the belief that, hey, if there should be some type of concessions made. So with this money, if you gonna come to me and tell me, hey, dog, let's take a pay cut, then what we getting with that money, dog? Well, who we gonna go get? We better not go pick up. Y'all say it with me. Y'all know who I'm about to say. Well, you better not go pick up a James Washington. You know what I mean? With the money that you fool around and recouped and saved, because that was the plan. You said a brilliant point last week or the last week before last when we had this conversation. Yeah, they replaced Amari Cooper, but they never replaced CeeDee Lamb. So yeah, if you replace my guy, Ezekiel Elliott, who you going to replace him with? Or with the money, what you going to do with it? Because there are people who want to argue with me and say, well, Law, anybody can give you 12 touchdowns, Law, anybody. Well, there's only three other running backs that did it. How come there wasn't all of the other running backs in the National Football League that got more than 12 touchdowns? There's only 3 that did it last season. Go ahead.
Yeah, and one thing I love is people say, oh yeah, but they were goal line touchdowns. Praise God. That's even better. Because you know what that really means? That really means you got to the red zone and damn near couldn't score. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's just how that cookie crumbles. At the end of the day, man, for fans that say, there's just a lot of fans that have this expectation of Ezekiel Elliott to be the same guy his rookie season. And if you guys look at it, there is not one consistently like running back that's just been consistent. That's just how to run him. That's just how it is. But there have guys that you look over their career and you will look at them and say that they have been consistent in what they do. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. When you're talking about money, when you're talking about a contract that we agreed upon, and if you want me to, because see, there's a difference between restructuring and taking a pay cut. If I take a restructure, is basically I have $10 million over 2 years, right? That means I'm gonna get $5 million over the next 2 years. A restructure is when they say, okay, West Coast, this is what I'm gonna do. We're gonna give you an $8 million signing bonus. They can do it two different ways. They can either add a third year onto my contract, divide that $10 million over 3 years by then dropping it, because 10 divided by 3 is less than 10 divided by 2. You know what I'm saying? So they can do it that way. Or they can do what they've been doing a lot of times is they take the $10 million basically, and they just give you like a signing bonus of like $6 million. Then they only owe you $4 million. They take that for 2 and 2, and you're getting paid $2 million over the next 10 years. You're still making the same amount of money though. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the key ingredient you got to understand with a restructure. You're still getting your money. When a player takes a play cut, that money's gone.
It gone, dog. You're agreeing, man.
You're agreeing to go from $17 an hour to $15, and you will never get that $2 back. If I'm Zeke,
and the type of cut they asking him, they don't want him to go to 17. They want him to go to 950.
I mean, this is my thing. If I'm Ezekiel Elliott, listen to me. I have way more rushing down. Listen, it really goes down to the fan. Which do you value more? If you value yards more, then guess what? Go get Tony Pollard. But he also has a broken fibula. Now, me, on the other hand, I value points strongly. And for whatever reason, you guys have a very low appreciation for a guy that had 9 straight weeks of a touchdown in the NFL. Like that does not happen very oftenly, because if it did, it wouldn't have been something that the Cowboys were actually tracking as a record. That just doesn't happen. We don't have any player that consistently scores 9-10 weeks in a row. No player does that. Ezekiel Elliott did that in the NFL. So it's like, it really goes down to say, like, what do you value more in today's NFL? Do you value points or do you value yardage? Because I'm going to tell you this right now, in every situation, Zeke got you the points.
Here's what I want people to understand. And we shouldn't be looking at the players and dogging the players for the front office mistakes. And that's what we're doing collectively. We should have read up Tony Pollard last season, right? And we wouldn't be talking about this. We would be looking into another situation, right? But you let him go to the end of life of contract. And now the price of that bag went up. The same could be said with Donovan Wilson. And the same could be said even with Dalton Schultz. Granted, we put him on the franchise tag, but that's money that you will never get back, because with that money, you could have utilized that money to get another dominant defensive player last season, or another dominant wide receiver last year. But by the Cowboys franchise tag and Dalton Schultz, it cut us up out of there. When his market rate or his market value, if allowed to test the market, would have been somewhere around $6 to $7 million. That $4 to $5 million that you had on the table could have been with somebody else. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and my question is this: who in the hell said that Tony Pollard was worth $10 million a year? Like, that's all I want to know. Like, I love the young bull. I love him, man. But guess what?
Right.
The Cowboys purposely stunted that young man's stats, man. Like, they stunted his stats. There is a reason why Tony Pollard had 3 games where he only caught 3 passes, bro. Like, they chose. Think about this. We were up here saying, oh my God, why don't we bring in Odell Beckham when we had a guy who played slot receiver in college on our team? Right. Think about this. We gave every single person on our wide receiver on our team an opportunity to play wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys, except for who? Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. The Dallas Cowboys went into this season with the mindset that we were going to share carries. Why? Because, bro, I don't think they want to pay Tony Pollard no $10 million. That's not sharing carries, bro.
I don't know a player that they really wanted to pay.
Exactly.
You know, I'm trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Look, my guy Tyron Smith gave them the hell of a deal. For 10 years, $92 to $94 million, and people still talking about Tyron Smith money. You know, they saying that we overpaid when he took a hometown discount. And what this shows is that other players looking into this, right? And other teams are looking into this, and they said, you know what? I'm not fit to do that type of deal. Look how you're going to treat the man toward the latter part of his years. Because you're gonna, that's just the reality of it. They paid Jalen Smith early. This is from Iceberg Q. You do have a strong point with that one. Name me someone else outside of Jalen Smith. I think he was the only one.
What that took a relatively good short deal, or what was? Ask me the question one more time.
Well, I asked the question of, like, who did the Cowboys pay early? Like who did they really wanted to pay? And to me, they paid Jalen Smith early, but then they ate the money. They ate about $7 million worth of dead money with him, because after they paid him, they didn't let him go into the 2020 season completely, right? Because he was the one that was complaining about the defense being too much stuff moving around. He just wanted to keep it simple, and they asked him, and they ate $6 to $7 million of that. So yeah.
I mean, the Cowboys, I mean, at the end of the day, they love their bottom dollar. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got into the business of Cowboy football to win championships. And that's like, the Cowboys are kind of like the, you know, this is a higher level conversation, but they are kind of like they're kind of like the damn, how do I say this? They're kind of like the afterlife of winning a lot. Like, when you won, so like we ruled the 90s, like It's almost like they got tired of winning, and like winning was no longer the goal because they just did it so much. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying they got burnt out on winning, but this, like, they had to move the goalposts because, like, they, you know, because they obtained success so quickly. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think now Cowboys, now their business, the business, which is always the bottom line, is just so
Right.
successful. Like, I don't give a damn when nobody say, I know Jerry Jones put more money in his pockets than the owner of the damn Chiefs did. I don't give a damn. And he sell ketchup. I got ketchup in my house right now. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? And
Jerry.
I
Yeah.
guarantee you, Jerry made more money off football than the Chiefs did. I guarantee you he did.
He probably did, man. And somebody, Sports Time, I think Showtime Media said that they paid initially Amari Cooper early. Well, that's a false, because actually they allowed him to test the market, right?
They did, because
And the
Washington
Washington team was like, we'll give you $4 to $5 million more.
yeah.
And out of his, out of his kindness, he said, you know what? I leave $4 to $5 million on the table. On
Yeah.
the table, man.
So yeah,
And
they
he
did.
couldn't play for he played with less money for us. And guess what we do? We dogged him. I
Didn't
can't
even make
make
it through
this
the
stuff up.
contract. Didn't even make it through the contract.
Didn't even make it through the contract. You traded him for a 5th round draft pick, and news was already reported that he was willing to take another pay restructure, but they was like, no, you don't want to get this jab. You did us wrong. You only show up half of the games. Let's get rid of you for a 5th round draft pick. So it's crazy how we handle business in the front office. And unfortunately, there's casualties in war. Do you bring back Donovan Wilson?
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Like, but the thing about Donovan Wilson is, like, I want to bring back Donovan Wilson, and shout out my boy Landlord. Hey, I want to bring back Donovan Wilson, but I got so much love for Donovan Wilson and his family and his people, man. Go get your bag, young man. Like,
Go get him, man.
like that's probably one of the downfalls of getting to know these guys and getting to know their parents and things like that, and hanging out with these folks.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Like, I know the Cowboys are not gonna do Donovan Wilson well, bro. Like, they don't. Like, I know for a fact Donovan Wilson, to stay in Dallas, he will have to take less money. And I'm to be honest with you, I don't believe he should. I don't believe he should, man. Like, you got to think, man. One of my really good friends is a guy named Sharif Wright. This dude made a gang of money in the NFL, played for the Buffalo Bills and the Raiders, and played for the Ravens too. And he told me, man, we watched the game, and he was like, dang, y'all, he plays safety himself. He's like, man, y'all play a lot of safeties in the box, man. Like, that's crazy, man. He like, man, I had to talk to my agent about that. Like, and y'all, a lot of y'all won't understand what I'm saying, but what he's saying is, bruh, a safety playing in the box all game like that, man, that's gonna mess my money up. Why? Because I'm gonna be injured, bruh. Like, I'm gonna be running up against linemen, against running backs.
Yeah.
Like, and he did that, bruh. He deserves, technically, if he wasn't on the Cowboys, someone I think would be looking to pay him Jamal Adams money.
No doubt, man. Ooh. And you know what? You know what's crazy? They better get this stuff together, because even with Michael Parsons, and Parsons not going to hold back. He's not going to hold back. So do you pay him as an edge rusher, or do you pay him as a linebacker? Because those different levels to that far as money. So it's about to get crazy with the Cowboys in the near future because of how they utilize players on the defensive side of the coin.
Hey, shout out my boy Matt Batten. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, with Michael Parsons, the best thing to do with Michael Parsons, honestly, is accept the fact that for at least 2 years he's gonna be the highest paid defensive player, and then that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just that's like the Cowboys. We don't, like, the Cowboy fans. It was so hard for us to get over. Oh my God, Dak is the highest paid quarterback in football, and look at him throw the ball. Look how he flings it. Look at him. And then the next year he went from first to like 7th. You know what I'm saying? Like I think the Cowboys and us fans next year, the goal should be to sign Micah Parsons after his 3rd year. Like, you need to treat Micah Parsons just like Zeke. Sign him the day he's eligible to be signed. Sign him. The reason being is because you will never get him cheaper than that day.
Right? The price of the bag goes up.
That is the cheapest that day. If whatever that day is, that Mike say Micah Parsons can be eligible, what is it? I can tell you today. The Super Bowl is probably going to be February 13th, 2024. So February February 16th.
I got you right here.
Dallas Cowboys have given Micah Parsons the biggest and largest lucrative deal in NFL history at a defensive player. He will be making the first, I'm going to be honest with you, y'all about to hate me, $30 million, man.
Oh, 30 of them, man.
He going to get 30, man.
Quarterback, buddy, for real.
But think about this. 30 ain't even quarterback money no more.
Oh yeah. It's like what is like
listen to me. You got somebody already making 49. Think about this. You got guys already making 49. You haven't even paid Burrows. You haven't paid. You haven't. Fields gonna get paid at some point.
Herb gonna get paid.
Lamar Jackson. Oh my God.
All right, so he's gonna get paid. Look, the quarterback buddy about to double that because I don't know
if Lamar gonna get. This is none of our damn business. This is none of our damn business. But can I get 2 minutes on Lamar Jackson? I don't think he's gonna get paid, bro. I don't. Why would you listen to me? They have and I'm gonna tell you this: their backup quarterback went to the Pro Bowl off 3 games, bro.
I saw that.
That's crazy, man. What are your thoughts? You think Lamar's in a Ravens jersey next year?
I think that how everything is handled and the hastiness of his agency is not there, right? They don't know how to push it, and I think his mom representing him, and there are some loose ends with that. I'm not saying that she's doing a horrible job, but there's some loose ends of it.
She don't know how to bang in that.
She don't know how to bang, put the gun, the Glock to the head. You know what I mean? And sell the value. So yeah, he may go to the Atlanta Falcons. Who knows? Seattle Seahawks. He may be gone to a whole nother team, but he would not play on that franchise tag. And he wants what Deshaun Watson got. So I don't blame him.
Yeah,
he wants Deshaun Watson money.
Yeah, and while we on that, we can also, it's another quarterback that, you know what I'm saying? Listen, think about this. In our division, you got 2 quarterbacks that might get paid. You know what I'm saying? Right. You got the Giants thinking about think about this, man. Daniel Jones might actually make more money than Dak Prescott. And he probably will.
Shoot. I've seen a case
Daniel Jones beat Dak Prescott. Tell me when.
The dude, Lawrence Time, the kicker, he made points about, hey, Jones had a good season, made it to the playoff, won a playoff game without the trough of weapons that the Cowboys had. He said that there's no CeeDee Lamb on that offense. There's not even a Noah Brown. They was throwing to Richie James and Hodges or whoever, So that was his point. He was saying that basically Jones was just being Jones and lighting it up. So I was sitting back saying that, okay, pay the man. Don't give him 45, give him 50 million. Him and Jalen Hurts. Give Jalen Hurts 55. Pay those boys. Don't be sitting back here shortchanging those boys. Don't
stop, thief. Come back, thief.
Yeah, pay them boys, man.
Make them all the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL.
Tyler, the highest paid.
All that cap space, so you can't do nothing else.
Give Danny Jones, yes. Give him that money.
So halfway through the middle of the season, when you be like, wait, time out. I don't think we was right with this. Nah, I don't think I was right either. Hey, so, you mean to tell me you was just jiving us? Yeah, I think he was jiving y'all, bro.
Yeah. I was mad when they got rid of Jason Garrett. I wanted Jason Garrett to be there for 9 to 10 years. I was mad when the Eagles got rid of Chip Kelly. Y'all remember Chip Kelly? You know what I'm saying? I be wanting them to hold on to some of their inefficiencies as it relates to coaching and beyond. So if payment is another situation, then go ahead and pay Jalen Hurts. Pay Hurts season. I'm gonna get a shirt that said "Pay Hurts season." Hats and everything. Pay that man.
Yeah. So when you realize halfway through the season this was a mistake, we could just be sitting there like, I think he bold banana. See, some of y'all too young for this old banana in the tailpipe.
Now them boys good. The boys good.
But listen, man. That's the conversation, man. That's the conversation that we have, man. And I wanna actually throw this bone up there, man, because people use that same conversation in landlord. We're gonna talk about a conversation we had a crazy conversation we had on our live this morning. And people use that same conversation when they talk about a one Dalton Schultz, man. I want to know, because listen to me, Dalton Schultz, he was this beloved feature when Jason Witten was here. We just thought he was going to be the replacement, and we loved him. And then something happened over the last 2 years, because y'all hate him about as much as y'all hate Jalen Smith now. What did Dalton do to y'all, bruh? What did he do?
This dude Dalton Schultz, man, he blocked me and then he unblocked me, and now I'm blocked again probably. But Dalton Schultz, man, he was a guy that I counted out when he originally got here, and then he improved for a year and a half, and I said, man, this Dalton Schultz, y'all might as well go ahead and pay that man. But they went with the philosophy with the franchise tag. And
which we didn't agree with, which
we all didn't agree with, right? Let him test the market. He wasn't doing it that much, man. Shoot, find a soft spot in the zone, turn, flip, catch the ball, right? Get upfield, be in that safety valve. A lot of his yards came off the fact that, hey, if I'm going to double cover Amari Cooper and I'm going to put my second or best DB on my guy CD Lamb, then of course Dalton Schultz was going to be open in 2020-21. You know what I'm saying? But the Cowboys put the banana in the tailpipe thing again, right? They said they didn't need Amari Cooper. You got Dalton Schultz and CD Lamb, and it appeared to what it appears to be.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is my thing. Like, I don't think there's anybody on my offense or defense that is not within contractual standing right now that would get a franchise tag for me. Nobody. There's nobody that I am in dire need to lose where I want to guarantee them an X amount of money. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. The last two people that we gave franchise tags to did not play 17 games or 16. You gave it to Dak Prescott, 32 million. You got 5 games. Dalton Schultz, you gave it to him last week. You got to 15 total games. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys another situation that scares me about Tony Pollard too is this: the Cowboys have never given a franchise tag to a player who was currently injured. That is unheard of, because you got to remember, Dak Prescott was standing up on his own 2 feet. We was begging for him to get paid. The Cowboys just chose not to. You know what I'm saying? But he was 100% healthy when we gave him the franchise tag. Dalton Schultz was 100% healthy when you gave the franchise tag. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, it is almost unheard of to guarantee someone $10 million, that amount of money, and they cannot guarantee that they are going to play. And listen to me, look, Law, it's not about him guarantee can he play. Do I think he'll play week 1? Yes. But do I think he'll be Tony Pollard week 1? No. Michael Gallup, great example. Michael Gallup could play, but Michael Gallup realistically did not become Michael Gallup until what? Like after week 10? So it's like, I don't want to pay. I don't want to have to pay for him to rehab. If I believe, listen to me, Law, if you believe that much in Tony Pollard, just give him a contract.
Just give him a contract. Oh my gosh, man. Me and you are on the same page. I've seen people beat me up and say, nah, Law, 10 million is not that much money. Shoot, that's 2 contracts right there.
Facts.
You can spread that out, and you can prorate some of that money, and you can bring in another defensive player to help this out, or you can bring in another wide receiver to help this out, or a guard or a tackle to help this team out, or you can just flat out draft a guy, and work something out with that. And it will be easier to work out a contract, maybe a 2 to 3 year deal with Tony Pollard. And if he don't look up to snuff, then you can always put him out for trade from there. Or hear me out, ladies and gentlemen, there's a sucker born every minute, a fool every second. So you can just look for those 2. Somebody gonna be like, you know what? I remember when Tony Pollard ran all over us. Hey, the Cowboys rehab situation was terrible. Man, we can turn into sugar. You know what I'm saying? So those are things that I would do. You could have did that even with Dalton Schultz, but that $11 million that was gone just like that, that's why we were missing out on some pieces. But that's the story of another day.
And I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you what. Also, I'm gonna tell you one of the biggest problems that Cowboy fans have is this: the Dallas Cowboys looked at Ezekiel Elliott as a starting running back in 2021. And when Jerry Jones And they had their expectations of Ezekiel Elliott as a starting running back, right?
Right.
When the Dallas Cowboys announced at training camp that the Dallas Cowboys were 100% going to a shared running back situation, why didn't you guys cut your expectations of Zeke in half right then?
Oh my gosh, man.
See, listen to me. And I don't ever try to, like, sometimes I come off real Kanye West-ish because I'm trying to like grab you and shake your ass. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, some of this stuff is not us. It's really you guys, right? Think about this, fellas. This is what a lot of you guys did. I made a cake. After I made the cake, I called you and I said, Law, I'm only bringing you half the cake.
Right.
When I get there, Law then cusses me out for only bringing half the cake.
The cake. Yeah.
My question is this. If the Dallas Cowboys told you that Ezekiel Elliott was only going to be cooking half the cake, why are you guys holding him responsible for the whole cake? That does not make any sense. And if you think about it, knowing that Ezekiel Elliott was going to be sharing carries, technically he way overdid his expectations. Because, bruh, I don't know a running back in a two-back system that has. And think about this: Zeke missed 2 games.
Right.
He averaged 68 yards. Think about this. He was only 127 yards away from hitting 1,000 yards, and he missed 2 games.
Yeah, like, it's a situation. Whereas when I look at Ezekiel Elliott, yes, he's going to have half of the production with half of the time. Now, granted, I get with what you're saying, but on the flip side, even Alvin Kamara never had 1,000 yards rushing, right? So
you can't split in carries.
You can't. It's hard getting it split in carries. But what I'm gonna say here is when we look at both running backs, I think that they were beneficial to this team. But
Nice.
What we can't say with this particular team is that Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator, was horrible for the quarterback and the wide receivers, but he was great for the running backs.
Yeah.
If people think about that, the decline of Ezekiel Elliott production happened in 2019. Well, what else happened in 19? They got a new offensive coordinator, a whole new philosophy. So what I'm trying to say is I'm not going to beat Ezekiel Elliott up for having lack of production and lack of skill sets that we've seen the previous years, right? But I can dog for sure let you guys know that even Ezekiel Elliott, don't y'all know who was the #1 receiver in 2018?
You're the same guy who was your leading rusher?
Yeah, Ezekiel Elliott. No one had more receptions than Ezekiel Elliott in 2018. And what did we do in 2018?
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 76. Yeah. On top of that, ladies and gentlemen, did we win a playoff game in 2018? Right?
Yeah, we beat the Seahawks, lost to the Rams.
Yeah. And did that person that won the game in the Seattle Seahawks, did he put up 120 yards rushing? Yes. So what I'm saying here is that decline, that whole debacle came in 2019. Now, I'm not throwing any salt and shade at Kellen Moore. It's just facts. He just didn't know how to use all of his weapons.
Hey, shout out to Mr. Cowboy. And think about this, Law. This is what I be telling folks, right? Like, if in a perfect world, right, you're looking at Zeke and you're like, okay, Zeke is, he declined, okay? Right. What percentage of his decline do you hold Kellen Moore responsible for? And that's really the question that fans gotta ask, because see, with me and Lawfield is like this. The data says more to the fact that Zeke probably still has it. And think about this. Think about this, Law. We're only asking for a year to see if it's true or not. Like, we're not asking to let's sign Zeke for 5 years and that. No, we're just saying don't do it this year. Like, what if it is a coincidence? Like, think about this. I'm going to give you a better example. If Dan Quinn never comes to the Dallas Cowboys, you never hear about Donovan Wilson. And on my mama, I'll stand 10 toes. And let me tell you why. Because I made 7 videos about the Dallas Cowboys should start Donovan Wilson, should play Donovan Wilson, should get action to Donovan Wilson. I'm going to tell you why his mama got so much love for me, because all the content I made on her son.
Oh, yeah. Mama Wilson, she will praise you.
She'll support. And let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. If Dan Quinn doesn't come here, a guy who believes in his safety playing the way that Donovan Wilson plays, bro, Donovan Wilson in 2020 was doing nothing on Mike Nolan's defense? Nothing.
Nah.
Where he got a turnover versus the Eagles and went right back to the bench.
I mean, we can make a long list of that. We can talk about also J-Ron Curse. He wouldn't have got paid, man, at all, period. Right? And we don't know what or who Michael Parsons would have became, right? We'd have just been sitting there like, all right, this dude is athletic, super really athletic, but we don't know what he'll bring to the table. It's so many unknowns. So coaching do matter. And we can clearly see that when a player goes to a certain system and fool around and foul right in, we'll never know what they'll look like in another one. So yeah, you're right, man. I kudos and credence to you for that.
Yeah, and it's like the money says it makes more sense, man. Like does the money say to go more with your thought? Because like think about this: if your mind is saying that Zeke fell off, then that means you have to be able to like, because to Jerry, this is all business, right? So it's like at the end of the day, he gonna have somebody that's making points for Zeke staying. Then he's gonna have a guy that's gonna be making points for Zeke going. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I just want someone to make a valid point on Zeke going, because us just saying, oh, we can replace him with anybody in the draft. Okay, I'm gonna ask you guys a question. When has the Cowboys effectively done that? Because we didn't just, how long was Byron Jones gone? How long did it take you to get Trevon Diggs? And Trevon Diggs is way better than Byron Jones. Think about that, bro. How often, I mean, think about this year. You let Amari Cooper go. How good did we do at replacing that?
Man, James Washington, Jalen Tolbert. and here's what I got to tell people. They're like around April, May, right around June and July, not a single soul would have backed me up when I said, hey, I ain't really sold on Jalen Tolbert like that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But everybody, the draft will always bring in hopeism, right? Yep. So when you get into the draft, hey, nobody, Jalen Tolbert, hey, we won't even miss Amari Cooper. Jalen Tolbert, he's going to come right in and he's going to be more aggressive. He's going to pull the ball out of the sky. And then we're going to entertain you guys with James Washington. This team is going to be better, right? So when I'm on the fence and I'm telling everybody, hey, man, go get DK Metcalf. Oh, Lord, you know what I'm saying? You're losing hope on this team. I said, no, go get a proven commodity, right? So the same could be said with this running back situation and scenario. It's going to be hard for somebody to fabricate 12 touchdowns. And I'm not saying that Ezekiel Elliott is not washed or not the same Zeke from 2016. But what I'm saying is just make sure you replenish, so that's just the reality of it,
And Law, we don't, and this is the problem though. We don't have, I can't support that because, and that is a very open way of thinking. The only time you should not have that open way of thinking is in marriage. Listen to me. When you get you married, stay with her. Even if you think it's better, it's not. You know what I'm saying? In every other situation, always be upgrading. You got an iPhone 12, go get you a 14. You know what I'm saying? Don't go get you a Karen and you got to go upgrade to the Karen 2.0. I promise you, she ain't gonna cook, clean, to do none of that stuff you like. You know what I'm saying? But in every other situation, man, you should upgrade. But listen to me, man.
But hold on, before you go to that point, though, for every dime you see, there's somebody that can't stand her, though. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand that girl.
Hey, Kanye divorced Kim Kardashian. And think about this. She done been divorced 3 times. As much as people want to say Kanye the problem, all I'm saying is 3 is bigger than 1. That's all I'm saying. Kim might be the problem. This whole time, y'all been on Kanye. And think about this. She done been divorced 3 times. You know
oh my gosh, man!
I'll leave Kanye alone.
Hey, that shoe company is like, damn, man, we lost $1 billion. They want Kanye back now.
Yeah, and you know what?
They said $1 billion, man. They lost it, boy.
and that's so funny. And you know what's crazy? I'm gonna tell you what I kind of predicted Kanye was gonna do, and what I think he's gonna do. Because see, listen, Adidas now has $1.6 billion worth of merchandise that
Right.
they can't sell that has his name on it.
All
And
over,
guess
man.
what? Guess what? A lot of people don't remember that 2 years ago, Kanye West actually tried to get out of the contract with Adidas because he wants Yeezy brand to be its own brand.
Right,
So
right.
what I honestly think that he's gonna do is he's gonna do what a corporate America does in the hood. They flush
Right.
the value of the land down, and then they come back in, and then they buy it at cheaper price. So what did
Okay.
Kanye do? He flushed the value of his own products down the toilet.
Down.
And then
Yeah.
guess what? A year later, you come back and buy your own product for pennies on the dollar, and you ain't
Yeah.
got to fabricate anything because it's already created with your name on it.
Man,
And you throw it
put your
right into the
name on
stores, man.
it. Yeezy. But it is what it is, man. But go to your point, man. I ain't want to hijack that moment there. But go ahead to your point.
What was you talking about? What was you talking about, Zeke?
Well, you was about to make a point about something that I was like, yeah, but for every dime you see, there's somebody that can't stand her funky tail. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can't stand her, you know. But then you went into some other point. But go ahead, make it
I
somebody make it
I
make
think that
sense.
the gist of what we were saying is just like, at the end of the day, your bad, yours is yours. You know what I'm
Yours
saying?
is yours. Yeah.
Yours is yours. And I think the bigger picture that the Cowboys need to understand is this: we are a team. I think that's the main point we were talking about. We are a team that has not shown a willingness. Like, listen to me. The Kansas City Chiefs got rid of Tyreek Hill. Oh my God, Patrick Mahomes is about to suck. You know what they did? They solidified it. You know what they did?
Yeah.
They hit every window. They traded Tariq Hill, right?
Right.
Very same free agency. You know what they did? They signed Juju Smith-Schuster.
Right.
Then they went into the draft.
Right.
They drafted the kid Sky Moore, number 24, and
Right.
24 pick.
Yeah.
Then
4-2 guy. Yeah.
Yeah, 4-2 guy. Then they went out there and traded for Kadarius Toney. So
Yeah.
they didn't say they sat back and you know what they said? They said, man, Tariq Hill's a great talent. There's no
Right.
way we can
I know it.
replace him. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna use 3 or 4 guys to replace him. That is that's the mindset. Like, listen to me. The Chiefs, they can get rid of a guy like Zeke because I have all faith that they will replace him. Like, I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
it real. Unfortunately, the way the Chiefs do business, I believe they could get rid of Patrick Mahomes. And I'm not saying their success. Listen to me.
Right.
I'm not saying they would have the success. No, I'm not saying they're going to have the same success. But what I'm saying is, I would think within 2 to 3 years they would have somebody else in there. Why? Because they're not giving it the chance. Like the Chiefs, they don't believe in next man up. No.
What did they get for Tyreek though? Because they didn't let him go for a 5th round draft pick though. By the way, so what did they get? Somebody put that in the chat. And then we got to understand too. I get it. Tyreek Hill, phenomenal. But what people do is they dismiss Travis Kelce. You know what I'm saying? He requires 2. When you got he requires a linebacker underneath, and he requires either you're going to put a DB of a cornerback size or a safety over top. And both of those things are mismatches. You know, they got 5 picks for Hills. Ooh! So they actually won because when you're talking about a game that's chess, not checkers, right?
Yeah.
When you running the ball, you trying to eliminate boxes, right? You trying to keep people out of the box. When you got a Travis Kelce, he's going to take care of 2 guys. Remember, it's 11 versus 11. So now you got to look at it from that aspect. And of course, last year they had Eric Bieniemy. Now he's going to Washington land, and we'll see what he can do over there. But for the meantime, in the between time, it's about mismatching and scheming. Those 2 touchdowns, dog, that Pat Mahomes threw in the Super Bowl, either you could have ran that route or I could have ran that route, and we would have scored, right or wrong.
Facts.
I mean, because he schemed wide open. When the last time we schemed something open?
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, this is what I've learned. This is what I've learned in football, just coaching. If I look on film, like, how does an offensive coordinator judge the play calls that he make? Not necessarily on the success of the play, because sometimes people just fall down on plays and they just keep running.
Right.
But I'm gonna tell you a way that offensive coordinators, or this is what I was taught, a way offensive coordinators are taught as how you can judge games is how many receivers you have open. Because at the end of the day, you got to see it like this. You know, if every wide receiver could just run a route and get open, every wide receiver would be making $20 million. Like there's a reason why you have a number 1 receiver and a number 2 receiver and a number 3 receiver. Now, my question is this. Who is it the job of the offensive coordinator to get the ball to one guy, or is it his job to get to everybody? It's his job to get to everybody.
Everybody, yeah.
So exactly. So most offensive coordinators really only have one guy that can get open by himself. And guess what? A lot of these teams in the NFL don't have that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like when you look at, like, that was another thing that I saw about Kellen Moore is how often did you just see CeeDee Lamb wide open? Like, that's where your offensive coordinator, or even Amari Cooper. Listen to me. Amari Cooper is an exceptional route runner. Want to know why? Because he had to be.
He had to be.
He had to be.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna tell you, if you're not an exceptional route runner in a Kellen Moore system, it's not gonna work well.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work well. That's why guys like, I mean, I love Dez, but Dez would have never worked with Kellen Moore.
Oh
never.
my gosh. Yeah, Bang 8, he probably wouldn't have did him on that. He would have got him with the stop routes or the option routes. And it would have been some fighting in the locker room with that, So yeah, I always wanted Dez in the West Coast system. I wanted him on your slants. If you go back and watch what Megatron did to us, and of course, that was many a moons ago. Those slant balls, man, on Brandon Carr, just leverage, right? Where the safety is lined up at, trusting you guy on the outside. And all I seen was Jeff Heath tackling Aaron and my guy, Brandon Carr, just lost in space. And that's using your size. And if you look at this team on our wide receivers, I wouldn't have my guy with a coming off of an injury, recovering ACL on stop routes or coming back routes or comeback routes. I'll have Gallup on slants, man, or I'll run him on a 9 or a deep skinny post or something like that. I wouldn't have him doing all of those.
He doesn't need to do anything that requires him to do a sudden movement while running straight.
Right.
That already is not a good that already is not like, that's not good for folks who healthy. You know what I mean?
No doubt, man. Oh my God.
On that alone, you know what I'm saying? By themselves. So I mean, my boy Landlord, we had a conversation about that too, and he was saying the same thing. And he was like, with a Cowboys shouldn't be running him on anything that got to do with his legs, feet stopping. Like, no, let that boy keep running. Like, and if you can't stop, just run to the locker room. You know what I'm saying? Don't even just keep on running. You know what I'm saying? Don't even stop. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, that's one thing I will say about this, because everybody's making a big deal about who's the offensive coordinator, who's going to be the offensive coordinator for the Cowboys. We already know who's the offensive coordinator, but I think it's just entitled, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, they've made it very clear that, Mike McCarthy is going to be the guy that's going to be calling the plays. And, under a Mike McCarthy system, he believes in them two-back system. He believes in them two backs. He also believes in his tight ends. Y'all remember it was a tight end from Mike McCarthy that killed us in 2016 on the sidelines. That was not a wide receiver. That was a tight end.
Yeah. I forgot his name. Is the tip of my tongue, but
it's always some tight end that we can't remember that makes.
Remember, we wanted him, but we was like, hey, it is what it is. He got us too. What's his name? Y'all put his name in the chat. And it was on my guy Byron Jones too, man.
On the right side.
Yeah, Cook. What's Cook's first name though?
Jared Cook.
Jared Cook. Oh my gosh, he got us. But the first time he didn't. When Byron Jones played press on him, he couldn't get off the release. It was an incomplete pass. But on the third down and long or what have you, they went into a soft zone look. And I said, man, that is not up that lane for Jones. Because remember, Byron Jones was getting cooked as a safety. Yeah. But when they put him down to press, my goodness, man, that where he flourished, right? Yeah. When we got Chris Richard in the house to put him down as a DB to press, and we was like, yeah. But man, that play, man, opened up nightmares for us. Shout out to Aaron Rodgers though for making that throw. But they held David Irvin though.
Yeah,
they held David Irvin.
I was just about to say shout out to the ref who was standing right in front of David Irving and literally did not see him, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Did not see him, bro.
Yes,
did not see him.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, let's do a rapid fire before we get up out of here, man, because there's a bunch of topics that people have been throwing in the comment box. I want to make sure they get their love, man. And the one name that I keep seeing thrown in there is Mr. Bijan Robinson. What are your thoughts on Bijan?
Oh, phenomenal, man. I got him as a tier 1 running back, man. Phenomenal. I don't think he'll make it all the way to the 26th pick, but if he do, it'll be hard pressed to pass up on him, especially looking at the temperament, what we have with these running back room right now.
Question: is he more Zeke or is he more Tony?
He's a mixture of Zeke and Saquon Barkley if they were to have a
Ooh,
baby.
okay.
Yeah, but I'm just
Next
telling you,
question.
man, he's
Next
good
question.
though. His boy
Next
good.
question. Next question. What happened with him in that Alabama game? Because man, that's my boy lost him. Not my boy lost. My boy Boss Cowboy. He's like, man, you gotta watch that Alabama game,
Yeah,
man.
watch the Alabama tape. Yeah, he got folded, and yeah, he got folded.
At
Yeah,
least you keep it real,
yeah,
Law.
I'll keep it real with you, man. You
I
know,
thought you was
running
gonna
back.
put some thought on it
Yeah,
or something, man. But
yeah,
listen,
man. I ain't gonna lie to kick it to y'all. Now, far as this team, I'm high on Gibbs. Gibbs he might run a 4.2 something, man. I was reading reports, man, from some of these running backs out here. LaDainian Thomason, he loved Gibbs. So let's not sleep on Gibbs. Let's not sleep on Sean Tucker and some of these other running backs that's coming out. But for right now, man, a guy that can catch out of the backfield, that can do some Houdini moves and can sneak out of that thing. I'm not finna sleep on Bijan Robinson. You know, I'm not finna sleep on him, though.
Hey, real quick, my boy said, listen to me. He says, my boy says, boom, that's why West Coast doesn't criticize players. Like, listen to me, I do criticize players. I just don't, I have restraint when it comes to players because a lot of you guys go overboard with the criticizing of players. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I think you guys, and to be honest with you, if you notice, a lot of your favorite content creators don't do it either because we understand what's called restraint. You know what I'm saying? But fans, you guys want me to be on here and be all upset. Like, I don't feel that the last year's season was a failure. I don't
No.
I don't feel that it was a failure. And a lot of folks will be like, oh my God, you gotta criticize and hate. No, I don't. Like, it's hard for me to
Here's my thoughts with Ezekiel. I to this day think that the NFL robbed that man. They took his soul from him. If you just look at 2016 Ezekiel Elliott, and then you just fast forward to
that case
2017,
did,
the
man.
face, the countenance on his face, man.
The case
You
did.
know, you never got that Zeke back. I think the Roger Goodell is going to be an ESPN 30 for 30 down the line, maybe 20 years from now, on how the NFL robbed one of the greatest running backs, to be drafted in 2016. But go ahead.
And I'm gonna tell you this right here. If one thing I know for a fact, and I know this just from talking to his dad. And one thing that I know for sure it changed Zeke is it made, like, when Zeke was like this lovable, funny. Remember when the dude Pro Bowl ran on the field and the security guards tried to get him and Zeke ran and tackled the dude off the sidelines? You know what I'm saying? Like, that was Zeke, and we were all like, Zeke, what the hell are you doing, bro? Don't ever do that again in your life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What I think that case did is it really made him understand that, bro, this is not a game, bro.
Yeah,
This
it took it
business.
away.
Like, and even his dad said, like, you listen to me. He had the case, and then after he had the case, he had the security guard situation.
Right.
The security guard situation. Zeke is literally, a lot of people don't know this.
Mhm.
Zeke is one situation away from being banned.
Yeah.
So it's like, bruh, when YouTube sends you that email and says, "All Nation, you got one more situation,
Yeah.
your second strike."
Right.
No, listen to me. You be scared to go live, bruh. Like, I be scared because I might go on there and say the wrong thing, and I ain't got no YouTube page no more. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I've been there, man. Shoot, they about to take it. I had like 3 strikes, and they gave me a third. They're like, well, you actually got 3, but since this was a warning, so that's why I started Law Nation 2.0. I was the whole year. I said, I'm going to start a backup YouTube page, and it's been there ever since then. But everything been relinquished. But to your point, yes, man, the dude never been the same. And he's more mature now. He's still with the same lady, since that Vegas situation, and met the family. They good people, man. From I ain't gonna tell you where they from. I ain't gonna talk too much, but I'm gonna tell you there's some good people, man, and you'll see the changes in Zeke. It's just crazy how the NFL robbed that man, robbed us. They robbed us, man. They really robbed us because there's no arrest report, no mugshot for him. Go ahead.
My question is to the nation, and we can almost end it with this, Law. My question to the nation is this: Has Zeke done enough for us to give him 1 year? That's all I'm asking. The money's not going to hurt you. Realistically, even if you think you can get better in the draft, how do you get better in the draft? How does Bijan Robinson get to the Dallas Cowboys at 26? If he's there, take him. Even if Zeke was in his prime, take him. I don't give a damn. If Zeke was in his prime right now and Bijan Robinson's at there at 26, take him. Why not? Why not?
I just look at it like this. I think that probably Jerry Jones is in love with Zeke, but I don't think anyone else is. Zeke back is against the wall. Mike McCarthy never been a fanboy of the running backs. By the way, he always had Jags as running back. So throughout his entire career. And he had Eddie Lacy, but he was Donut Lacy at the time when we seen Donut Lacy.
But think about this. He also, one thing I will say about Mike McCarthy too, though, is this. Look at the running backs that he had over his career. Bro, when you have Aaron Rodgers, throw the ball. Like you can't have, like, that's why I say for Mike McCarthy, he's had such dominant quarterbacks. Like, bro, there's not a run unless you had Emmitt Smith on your team. You have Joe Montana. Mother could throw the freaking football. You know what I'm saying? You have Aaron Rodgers in his prime. Throw the football, bro. Like,
throw it. Somebody said Ryan Grant.
Yeah, that's probably the best option.
Let me see what round Ryan Grant was drafted in. But neither here nor there. I feel what you said. As a true football fan, we deserve to see Ezekiel Elliott in a true system, a scheme. Somebody, if the doggone Brian Schottenheimer can make Chris Carson look good, and I hope his career, I can only imagine what Zeke will look like now, right? So we deserve that chance, but for right now, I think that what they're going to do is they're going to call Ezekiel Elliott into the meeting room, and they say, hey, we want this massive pay cut if you want to stay. And then they're going to iron out the differences from there, and we'll see how things rock, man.
Something I'm gonna tell y'all too. I'm gonna leave y'all with fans is this too. Y'all gotta, and this is what I'm gonna leave y'all with this, because this is something that's huge. It's gonna play a huge part in why Zeke might end up being a Cowboy. And I'm gonna tell y'all, fans, y'all do not give a damn about this, but Jerry does.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott is the highest sold Dallas Cowboy jersey.
Oh yeah.
Listen, 11s don't sell like 21.
Yeah.
They don't. And listen to me, you got to think about that. Ezekiel Elliott is a top 10 merch seller for the entire NFL.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Amari Cooper wasn't that. Didn't nobody buy Amari Cooper jerseys? You know what I'm saying? Didn't nobody buy no Ezekiel. Like, think about this. Ezekiel Elliott is a perimeter guy that's probably going to have a gold jacket on. Now, you got to think the money, when you walk away from a guy from Zeke, you're not just saving, okay, I'm going to save $5 million on my cap. Yeah, but then I'm going to lose $17-20 million in jersey sales that go now to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. If Zeke goes to any team in the NFL, that team now has the highest selling jersey in football. If Zeke goes to the Kansas City Chiefs right now, he's the high, bro. They're buying that jersey. You want to know why? Because, bro, you have when you go to Cowboy games right now, I'm gonna tell you what you see. You see Zeke jerseys and you see number 15 jerseys. You know, number 15 jerseys, those are Cowboy. Those are people who are non-Cowboy fans but rock with Zeke.
Ohio State. You know, Ohio got a large fan base too,
yes,
man.
They do.
And on top of that, what is my one tidbit of jersey sales? That's one thing that you don't have to revenue share.
Nope. And think about this. Think about this. Law. That's why I'm saying, like,
oh my gosh,
it's not even just the the 5 million. It's like, man, you have an NFL superstar on your team that you can make ridiculous revenue off of. Like, that's a huge thing. You know what I'm saying? And think about this. If we've already established that Jerry Jones cares about the business aspect almost bigger than anything, that's why he'll still dangle the Dez Bryant thing. You want to know why? Because you can still buy Dez Bryant jerseys in the pro shop right now.
Yeah.
Right
I
now.
mean, at the end of the day, man, I'm not going to take that away from you, man, because I know Jones family, they don't like money. They love it, you know? So them boys love money, man, and they know how to sell it. And they would tell you if there's anything that they would do to get back to the Super Bowl, they would write a check out to do it. And that's the biggest lie told of all times. Because you can't do it, right? You have the power. Look, I'll never forget there was a season whereas they relinquished the salary cap totally, right? And there's no salary cap implications, right? The Jones family sat still. You know, I was like, wait a minute, what happened to that? If there's anything that you would write out a check for to win the Super Bowl talk, what happened to it? But that's a story of another day, man. I got to get ready for the final word, but I appreciate you, my guy.
Yes, sir. And hey, man, you guys already know what it is, man. Y'all can follow me tomorrow on tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Man, your boy West Coast. I will be live. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, man. For everybody that just caught my content for the first time ever, man, I'm gonna tell y'all this, man. I purposely the way I am. Why? Because we all got to be different. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
We all got to be different. If you a Cowboy fan, just know it's all love. And if it's an Eagle fan, you ugly and your girlfriend's ugly. You feel me? I meant everything I said to you. If it's an Eagles fan, but if you a Cowboy fan, just know it's all love. Hey man, Law, I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Oh, that bird got shot, y'all.
Hey, I appreciate everybody for watching tonight. Make sure you guys go. Hey, stay tuned in. The final word is rolling in right after this, man. And you guys already know what it is, man. Never look down because the star's up. Peace.
Man, I love that one, man. Salute.